Hello there, my name's Hannah, I'm also known as Verve, and we'll be talking a little bit today about how to make cosplay horns. I had previously made a video about how to make horns, specifically My Little Pony, but that video was made for a friend of mine's My Little Pony costume panel at Canterlot Gardens, which means it only has a 5-minute video limit. So hopefully this video will be a little bit more in depth. We'll talk a little bit more about how to make My Little Pony horns along with alternate methods and some few tricks and problems I found along the way. So if you had already looked at my previous video, you would have seen I used the Future Twilight Sparkle horn as my example, which means I'm going to use a different horn. This is the Queen Chrysalis horn. Obviously I use it for my Queen Chrysalis cosplay, but this one was constructed a little bit differently than the Future Twilight Sparkle horn. The Sparkle horn is made of only super sculpted clay, while this one has an aluminum foil core. The aluminum foil, when you put it in the oven, bakes okay, and I heard it made your horns lighter, so I decided to give it a shot. Because of the specific shape of the horn, as you can see, it's very interesting. It's not a normal Twilight Sparkle or unicorn horn. I went ahead and shaped the aluminum foil exactly to follow this curve and coated it with I would say a medium layer of oven-baked clay. Make sure it's nice and smooth. I made sure to accent points here. It's very nice. And put it in the oven and baked it as long as the Super Sculpty box told me to. So, with that being said, I think it turned out pretty good. It looks like Queen Chrysalis. You recognize that it's Queen Chrysalis. It's also very shiny. The paint I used for this horn was just cheap Walmart acrylic paint, like literally the cheapest 50 cents for a bottle of black. So I went ahead and coated that. I think I used Folk Arts glitter paint just to add this greenish yellow shimmer all the way through the horn. I always like adding that. I feel like it makes it a little bit more magical because ponies. On my Twilight Sparkle horn, the spiral that is shown on the horn itself is actually carved in. For this horn, there were also lines, but I did not carve them in. Specifically because it was thinner, I was afraid that I would damage the horn or make it too weak and make it more susceptible to breaking. So I just painted those on. Use your head. Decide which one would be best for you. The top coat, I think, was just a very, once again, cheap glossy top coat spray paint can. It was pretty simple. I was really astonished by what good results I got from the materials I used. So, here's the next thing. It is much lighter than the Twilight Sparkle wig because of the aluminum. The trade-off is it's also much weaker. This horn is a little bit not so straight, as you can see. It had actually broke right here, where my fingers are right here. Yeah. It broke right there earlier, and I was able to repair it by the love of the Lord. He was able to help me out with that. You can see that small seam right here, and going all the way through where that horn broke. And I'm thinking it was the aluminum foil made it a lot weaker. The clay was a little bit thinner there. I sanded it, maybe a little too thin, but it kind of curved. So if you plan on using aluminum foil, make sure you have a decent amount of clay on the outside to make sure it's nice and stable, and also be very gentle. Give it extra bits of love. Don't pull it really hard. Be nice to it, because it might break, and then you'll be mad. So, it's lighter, but more fragile. Once again, I use button snaps. I have 2 button snaps just painted black. Kind of hard to see, but you can see the little silver bits right there. I always use 2. I tried one beautifully large one that was about the size of a 50-cent piece on the bottom of it, and it was not stable enough. It wiggled, and it would have fallen off and broken. It was not a good setup. So I decided on 2 medium ones, and here's the bottom. This is the part that goes on the inside of the wig. It is half a beret. You can buy them at Hobby Lobby, these beret blanks. I use a lighter to melt the plastic in the middle. It's usually twice as long, and once it's melted, I snap it. That way you don't need a really big piece about that long, and if you make other horns, it's easier. I usually use E6000 for the glue for all this. I feel like it's really stable. Don't do hot glue. You will be mad at yourself. But you see, I got my 2 button snaps, and that just snaps right into place with a little bit of work. And there you go. And this thing is super sturdy, like really sturdy. Like this is not falling off your head, which is why I love button snaps. Do you see this? It's crazy. From both directions. It's crazy. And then it just snaps right off. The reason I like button snaps as well is I have my featured Twilight Sparkle wig, and then it's my costume, and I'm also doing Gala Twilight. Well, I don't want to make 2 horns, so I have a horn that just goes between the 2. You don't have to worry about fighting with glue or actually damaging the wig. The way I already stated in my other video, I'll state it again. The way to attach these to the wig is this goes on top of the wig, this goes under the wig. Because there's 2 little holes, I usually cut 2 little holes in the mesh between wefts. Make sure it's on your forehead. Don't do it up here. You'll look dumb. Put it here. You cut 2 little holes between the wefts in the mesh area, and then just snap it right through those little holes. It might take a little bit of work to get it in there. You might actually have to cut a little bit of the hair that's getting in the way, but it's fantastic. I usually, when I take this to conventions, I'll leave the horn right on the wig. It doesn't fall off. So it's really, really nice. If you have any questions, comments, anything about how to make the horns, if you want more specific on the products that I used, feel free to leave a message or contact me. And yeah, check in. I'll be updating more videos on maybe some odd things. There won't be anything super crazy, but mostly it's stuff that you can just use, kind of help you out a little bit with your costumes. I hope I was able to help you out. Have a good one.